Okay, my HQST 100D-SSP is here. That's a smaller 100-watt panel. I don't know if it came from China all the way this way in one little box, but the Bouge panels that I got last time were packed the same way, and they were pretty beat up when they got here. So I'm going to open this up and take a look at it and see how she looks and give it an inspection and maybe set it up on the boat somewhere. So, to be honest with you, the thing's in pretty good shape for being in a box that looks so beat to hell. These boxes are just not very thick or durable, but it looks like people step on them sometimes. But panel's in decent shape. There's the paperwork with it. Conjunction box. There's specs if you want to take a peek at that real quick. Panel's got it's in good shape, man. So I don't see any dents in the frame too much. There's a few. You see that, you know, these, I don't need perfection. I just don't want, I want something that works. I'm more important. I find that more important than I need something that works. If it's damaged and won't work, then I have a problem. But if it's got a few dents and nicks in it, I'm cool. So I'm gonna throw it on the back of the boat there. So I've got the HQST temporarily on the rail there with some zip ties. Normally I'd have both panels connected, but I want to test this thing out tomorrow morning. Usually when the sun comes up over there, this is where it first hits. So I'm going to see what this HQST pulls in the first day. Hopefully we'll have some good sunshine. Pretty good looking panel. I mean, it looks as good as, you know, the Renogy that I've got, or the Bouge. The frame's a little more beat up, but it's still a good looking panel. One thing I did notice is, with the Bouge, it's got just the 5 lines of connections between the panels going this way. On the HQST, there's 2 going this way, and then there's 5 going that way. So you've got a couple extra connections, I guess, there. Is that what's going on? I'm seeing more connections between the panels. So if one little bank or one little area is out, it'll perform better. I don't know, I'm guessing, I'm speculating. Maybe that's not true, but it's a good looking panel. Well, that's the last time I'll say that. We'll test it out tomorrow morning. Well, you might not be able to see it very well. The sun's starting to come up outside my boat here on the back. So when it starts coming up, I start getting a little bit of solar. So the HQST panel is giving me about 18 watts to start with. So it's a 100-watt panel. I'm going to give it some time, and hopefully I'll get a little bit more coming in from it. So I'll just keep you posted on that. Looks like it's going to be a semi-pretty day out here on the lake today. Let's go and open these curtains. It's always great waking up to the sunrise. You can see it over there. Open this up. And there's the HQST panel I've got hooked up by itself. The Bouge 170, I'm going to leave that alone for a while. Just want to see what this thing does. Usually when the sun starts to come up right there, I get a little bit of wattage coming in. Right now it's about 15 to 20 watts. Plus the angle isn't perfect. If the sun was directly back there, I'd have a better angle on it. Since it's over there, it's kind of not as great. Plus the shadow from that bar may be on the panel. So I'm kind of at a handicap here, but it still does a great job of charging, having panels back here. Plus when I'm just sitting here, I'm not using the generator that much, so it charges to the max a lot of times, and I'll use it at night for fans and stuff. Anyway, there's that panel, and I'll keep you updated as to if it gets any higher on the wattage it's pulling in. Okay, so it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Sun's coming up. That HQST panel is giving us about 29 watts right now. Not bad for a little small panel like it is. The Bouge 170 is pretty big. Basically, I'm gonna I'm going to take this panel off if I go out in the lake and move it somewhere else so you can get up and down the swim ladder, and just leave that panel on. Once I get it properly installed, it's just kind of temporarily there. But then I'll get that one out of the way so there's plenty of room to get up and down here without banging into the panels. But right now 30 watts at 6 a.m. It's not a bad start for this HQST. Well, it's 7 a.m. and this 100-watt panel is charging at about 64 watts. The sun is right there. The thing's pretty small and mighty. I'm impressed with it so far. It's a pretty clear day. It's a little bit of haze, but it's not bad. But yeah, 64 watts. Okay, it's still 8 a.m. I wanted to show you something though. We're at 67, 65, 66 watts on this HQST panel. I've got a box that I can turn on my front bank. So if we're at 65, I turn that on, it goes to about 75. Okay, what am I trying to show you here? I'm trying to demonstrate that basically even panels that aren't in the sun, that are getting residual sun, can enhance the charging. So even if you have a bank somewhere else that's got partial sunshine, try and add it and see what it does. I'll take an extra 10 watts once in a while. These are in parallel. So the front bank is 570 watts, but that is in parallel with this HQST. So that's just information I thought I'd pass along. And so we're still at, it's 8 o'clock and we're still at 66 right there. If I turn on the front bank, 73. I'm gonna leave the front bank off just because I want to test just the HQST panel by itself. So 67 watts right now, 8 o'clock. It's looking like this HQST panel is topping out at about 67, 68 watts. It's a pretty sunny day out there. Minimal if no clouds. Not a direct angle to the sun. It's kind of off to the side, but it's 67% efficient. So hey, it seems like a pretty good panel. I think it's going to work good for me, and it fits back there. So I doubt I'm going to get any more wattage out of this thing today, especially sitting where I'm sitting. So I'll kind of conclude this test. Okay, so this HQST 100-watt panel. One thing I really liked about this panel is its size. It's smaller than some of the bigger 100-watt panels. Slightly smaller, so it fits in a more compact area. I like that about it. It topped out at about 68 watts on a pretty decent day. I'm okay with that. It worked pretty good, so that's, I expect to get probably 80% efficiency out of it on better days. The thing was less than $100. Actually, I think it was 79 bucks on Amazon. So it's definitely a nice little panel for the money. I'd like to see more mounting holes in the frame, especially along the short ends. Usually they'll have 3 holes along the long edges. I'm gonna have to drill a couple holes so I can mount it how I want to these boat rails. I get it, it's a different kind of installation, but I like to have some other options there. The turnaround time for shipping on these, I think they may come from China, and the boxes are pretty beat up, but it was about 3 weeks on Amazon. It was poorly packaged. It had some little nicks in the frame, but it was other than that, it was a good looking panel, and it performed how I was hoping it would. I'm going to run it in series with my my Bouge 170 panel out here on the back, and this is where I get all my morning sunshine into the Blue Eddy. So basically, pretty good test on this thing. I suggest these panels for less than $100. You really can't beat it. It's lightweight. It's smaller than a normal giant 100-watt panel, especially those really long ones. So yeah, man, catch some more solar, have fun boondocking, and have a good time on the lake if you're out there. Bye.